Have you ever felt like something is off in your life, but you can't explain what it is? Everything seems fine on the outside. You're doing what you're supposed to do, following the path that society laid out for you. You study, you work, you try to build a future, you chase success, relationships, validation. And yet, deep inside, there is this quiet discomfort. A feeling that something is missing. A strange emptiness that doesn't go away, no matter how much you achieve. What if I told you that this feeling is not a mistake? What if this discomfort is actually a signal? A signal that you are trapped. Not in a physical prison. Not in chains you can see. But in something far more subtle, far more dangerous. A psychological prison created by society. And the most shocking part? You don't even realize you're inside it. From the moment you were born, society began shaping you. Your parents, your teachers, your culture, your religion, your education system, all of them started telling you who you are and who you should become. They gave you beliefs, values, ideals. They told you what is right and what is wrong. They told you what success looks like. They told you what kind of life is worthy. And slowly, without you even noticing, you started accepting all of it. You never questioned it. You never asked, is this really true? Because everyone around you believed the same thing. And when everyone believes something, it starts to feel like truth. But according to Krishnamurti, truth is not something society can give you. In fact, society may be the very thing that hides the truth from you. Let's go deeper. Society functions on conditioning. Conditioning means shaping your mind to think, feel, and behave in a certain way. For example, why do you want success? Is it because you truly understand what success means? Or is it because you've been told your entire life that success equals money, status, and recognition? Why do you fear failure? Is failure actually something dangerous? Or is it something society has programmed you to avoid at all costs? Why do you compare yourself with others? Why do you constantly feel like you're not enough? These are not natural thoughts. These are conditioned responses. You were taught to think this way. And because of this conditioning, you are constantly in conflict. Think about it. You want to be free, but you also want approval. You want to follow your heart, but you're afraid of judgment. You want peace, but your mind is always chasing something. This contradiction is not accidental. It is the result of living in a system that constantly pulls you in different directions. Society tells you to be yourself. But at the same time, it punishes you when you don't fit in. It tells you to be unique, but rewards you only when you conform. This is the hidden trap. You are trying to live freely, inside a structure that does not allow true freedom. Krishnamurti said something very powerful. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Just think about that. If society itself is confused, divided, and driven by fear, then becoming successful within that society, does it really mean you are living a meaningful life? Or does it simply mean you have adapted well to the trap? Let's take a simple example. Social media. You scroll every day. You see people living perfect lives, traveling, achieving, smiling, succeeding, and without realizing it, you start comparing your life with theirs. You start feeling behind. You start feeling like you're not doing enough. But here's the truth. What you are seeing is not reality. It is a carefully curated illusion. And yet, it affects your emotions. It shapes your self-worth. Why? Because your mind has been conditioned to seek validation, to measure your worth based on external standards. And this is exactly how the trap works. The trap is not outside. It is inside your mind. It is the way you think, the way you perceive yourself, the way you react to the world. You believe you are making free choices. But most of your choices are influenced by your conditioning. You choose a career based on what is respected. You choose a lifestyle based on what is admired. You even choose your dreams based on what society approves. And then you wonder, why doesn't it feel fulfilling? Because deep down, your true self knows something is wrong. Your true self is not interested in comparison. It is not interested in status. It is not interested in living someone else's version of success. But you have been trained to ignore that voice, to suppress it, to replace it with noise, endless noise, from the world around you. This is why silence feels uncomfortable. Have you noticed that? The moment you are alone with your thoughts, you feel restless. You pick up your phone. You distract yourself. Because in silence, you start to see the truth. You start to see the confusion. You start to question everything. And society does not want you to question. Because the moment you start questioning, the trap begins to break. Krishnamurti believed that true freedom begins with awareness. Not with rebellion. Not with escaping society physically. But with understanding it deeply. Understanding how it has shaped your mind. Understanding how it controls your thinking. Because once you see the trap clearly, you are no longer completely trapped. Awareness creates distance. Distance creates clarity. And clarity is the beginning of freedom. But here's the challenge. Seeing the truth is not easy. Because your mind resists it. Your mind is comfortable with what is familiar. Even if it is painful. Even if it is limiting. The known feels safe. The unknown feels dangerous. So even when you begin to question society, there is fear. Fear of being different. Fear of being alone. Fear of losing your identity. And this fear keeps you stuck. It keeps you inside the system, following the same patterns, living the same cycle, day after day, year after year, without ever truly understanding yourself. So the question is, can you step outside this conditioning? Can you observe your thoughts without judging them? Can you see how society has shaped you, without trying to immediately fix or escape it? Because according to Krishnamurti, the moment you try to escape, you create another trap. Real freedom is not about running away. It is about seeing clearly, seeing without distortion, seeing without fear. And that kind of seeing requires a completely different way of living. A way of living that is not based on comparison, not based on approval, not based on fear, not when you fight society, not when you reject everything around you, but when you see, clearly, deeply, without distortion, how the trap actually operates within you. Because the truth is, the prison is not out there. It is not your job. It is not your family. It is not the system. The real prison is your identification with all of it. You see, society has not just influenced your behavior. It has shaped your identity. You don't just live in society. You are society. Your beliefs, your fears, your desires, your ambitions, they are all a reflection of the world you were raised in. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because if your thoughts are conditioned, then who are you really? Krishnamurti pointed directly at this question. He said, the observer is the observed. Which means, the thinker is not separate from the thoughts. The one who says, I am anxious, is not different from anxiety itself. The one who says, I want to be free, is still operating from the same conditioned mind. So when you try to fix yourself, who is doing the fixing? Isn't it the same mind that is already conditioned? This is the subtle trap most people never see. They try to escape the prison, using the same patterns that created it. They follow methods. They adopt new beliefs. They chase spiritual experiences. They read books, watch videos, practice techniques, hoping to become better, more peaceful, more free. But all of this is still movement within the prison. It's just a more refined version of the same conditioning. So then, is there any way out? Or are we just stuck in this endless loop? Krishnamurti's answer was radical. He said, freedom is not something you achieve. It is something that happens when you fully understand the movement of your own mind. Let's break this down. Right now, your mind is constantly reacting to people, to situations, to memories, to thoughts. Someone criticizes you, you feel hurt. Someone praises you, you feel happy. You remember the past, you feel regret. You imagine the future, you feel anxiety. This constant reaction is the structure of your conditioning, and as long as you are reacting unconsciously, you are trapped. But something incredible happens when you begin to observe these reactions, not control them, not suppress them, not justify them, just observe. For example, the next time you feel jealous, don't say, "I shouldn't feel this way." Don't try to replace it with positivity. Just watch it. Feel it completely. Notice how it arises. Notice the thoughts connected to it. Notice the sensations in your body. Stay with it, without trying to escape. In that moment, you are no longer just reacting. You are becoming aware. And awareness is the key, because awareness brings understanding, and understanding dissolves illusion. When you truly see jealousy, not as a concept, but as a living experience within you, you begin to understand its nature. You see that it is rooted in comparison, in insecurity, in the need to become something more. And the moment you see this clearly, without judgment, something shifts. The jealousy loses its grip, not because you forced it to go away, but because you understood it completely. This is what Krishnamurti meant by transformation. Not gradual improvement, not becoming better over time, but an instant change. That comes from direct perception. And this applies to everything. Fear, anger, loneliness, desire, attachment. All of these are part of the conditioning, and all of them can be understood through awareness. But here's the challenge. We don't like to observe. We like to control. We like to fix. We like to escape. Because observation requires you to face reality exactly as it is, without filters, without illusions. And reality can be uncomfortable. You may discover that much of what you believe is not actually true. You may see that your ambitions are driven by fear, that your relationships are based on dependency, that your sense of self is fragile and constructed. This is not easy to accept, but it is necessary, because without seeing the truth, you remain trapped in illusion. Now here's something even deeper. As you continue to observe, you start to notice a pattern. Every thought you have is based on the past, your experiences, your memories, your knowledge. Even when you think about the future, you are projecting the past. So your mind is always operating in the known, and the known is limited. Which means, as long as you are living through thought, you are living in limitation. This doesn't mean thought is useless. Thought is necessary for practical things, for communication, for work, for solving problems. But when it comes to understanding life, thought becomes a barrier. Because life is always new, always changing, always unpredictable. And thought is always old. So when you try to understand life through thought, you reduce it, you distort it, you turn it into something mechanical. And this is another layer of the trap. You are trying to live a dynamic life with a conditioned, mechanical mind. So what is the alternative? Krishnamurti spoke about a state of awareness, where the mind is completely quiet, not forced silence, not controlled stillness, but a natural quietness. That comes when the mind fully understands itself. In that quietness, there is no conflict, no comparison, no fear. There is just observation, pure, choiceless awareness. And in that awareness, something extraordinary happens. You begin to see life directly, not through the lens of society, not through conditioning, not through fear. You see things as they are. And in that seeing, there is freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but freedom from the psychological burden that has been shaping your life. Freedom from the need to become. Freedom from the fear of not being enough. Freedom from the constant struggle. This is real liberation. But it cannot be taught. It cannot be given. It cannot be practiced as a method. Because the moment you turn it into a method, it becomes another form of conditioning, another trap. So what can you do? Nothing and everything. You don't need to follow a system. You don't need to believe in anything. You don't need to become someone else. All you need to do is observe. Observe your thoughts. Observe your reactions. Observe your fears. Observe your desires. Not occasionally, but as a way of living. Because the more you observe, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the less power the trap has over you. Until one day, without effort, without struggle, you realize something profound. You were never truly trapped. The trap existed only as long as you were unconscious of it. And the moment you became fully aware, it disappeared. This is the hidden truth. Society's trap is powerful, but your awareness is far more powerful. And once you discover that, your life is never the same again.